Hey, what's up, people? JayDub here. This is going to be my 2010 WWE Fantasy Draft. The reason why I'm calling it a Fantasy Draft is I don't know what the hell WWE is planning with the draft, so these are just going to be my picks, what I want to happen, what I wish will happen, and what, problems I believe the draft should address, with the different brands. So, yeah, a lot of people are asking me why didn't I upload a video talking about the Monday Night Massacre. The reason being is because I realized the situation that WWE was in with last night's episode of Raw. They had to throw the whole script completely out of the window because the Raw stars are stuck over there in Europe because of the volcano erupting. And yeah, so they did as best as they could, putting on an impromptu show and, throwing out matches on there on the fly. I still think that, there were a couple of things that I hated about the show, but I still think, like, it was admirable of WWE to, at least put on the show instead of, video packages and, satellite feed promos and stuff. Like, I wouldn't have, wanted that to happen. They still tried to put on the show. But, yeah, as far as TNA goes is, I didn't watch it last night. And the reason being, the TNA fans, I upload a video for you guys out of the kindness of my heart, taking the time out of my day to talk about Lockdown, give fair and balanced commentary on the pay-per-view, and you guys completely attacked me, and I was offended. Like I said, I did that out of the kindness of my heart, and you attacked me. So I said, you know what, I'm not going to watch Impact. And I didn't watch, but people are saying, oh, JayDub, you missed out. It was an excellent show. It was great. But, what really do you expect? But, yeah, I wouldn't know if it was great or not, so I can't offer any comments on the show because I didn't watch. Too bad, though. But, yeah, I heard next week they're going to have Abyss versus Ric Flair in a Hall of Fame ring unification match. That's going to be pretty exciting to see. I can't wait for that. But yeah, TNA fans, they're giddy because TNA got a 1.0 rating, even though this was the day after one of their biggest pay-per-views of the year. Even though they put on big money matches like RVD versus Jeff Hardy, RVD versus AJ Styles, even though 99% of the Raw roster is stuck over there in Europe, Raw still kicked your ass in the ratings. But TNA fans, I'm pretty sure you're happy. Yeah, with your lowered expectations. There you go. But yeah, moving on to the draft. What do you guys think about the draft as a whole? I know a lot of people don't like the draft because they believe it's outlasted its usefulness, as Vince McMahon said about Survivor Series. But yeah, they say they don't like the draft because it's scripted when wrestling is scripted. But anyway, they don't like it because it's scripted. They don't like it because WWE does trades during the year, and they don't like it because WWE always forgets about the brands come around WrestleMania time. So what do you guys think about those points? I like the draft. It adds a little bit of, suspense. It adds some surprise to the shows. It, perks them up a little bit. It adds some excitement. So for that reason, I like it. And as far as the trades go, look at, NBA teams, NFL teams. They have their drafts, at a point in the year. Then, at, certain points later on in that year, they can do trades and stuff. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And like I said, as far as it being scripted, anyway, moving on to the draft, I will let you guys know right now that this is not fully thought out because I'm uploading this video on a Tuesday, and honestly, I'm scratching my head on who I want to move from SmackDown to Raw because honestly, I don't want to wish that sad fate upon anybody that I really like, because we already know if you're not at a certain point on a totem pole in Raw, you're not going to make it there. Just look at people like Kofi Kingston. Look at people like Evan Bourne. Look at people like Christian. Very talented guys, but they just can't seem to find their footing on Monday Night Raw because they're not, at that certain tier. And that's one of the reasons why I want to move Kofi Kingston to SmackDown. This guy, he was really talented. He had a feud with Randy Orton, last year. It started off hot as hell. It looked like it was going to be great, but then it just fizzled out. WWE totally stopped this push. Now he's jobbing the Sheamus. He's jobbing the Batista. Get this guy on SmackDown. I think it'll be a great move for him. And this will basically be the same thing for Christian also. I've said it before, and I will say it again. I didn't even like the fact that Christian was in the Money in the Bank match, because I believe right now he has the fan base, he has the skill, he has the ability, he has a look, he has a charisma, he has everything that WWE should be looking for in a world champion right now. So screw putting him in a Money in the Bank match, put him in a world title match. He could be a world title contender, he could be a world champion right now. Put him on SmackDown. There you go. You know, some great new feuds, and yeah, so put him on SmackDown. Randy Orton. I'm like, sure. I'll say sure. If I'm wrong, who gives a damn? This is all for fun. But yeah, I'll say I'm sure that Randy Orton is going to be moving to SmackDown. He's, you know, mixing it up with Jack Swagger right now. He has a match with Jack Swagger at Extreme Rules for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think this will perk SmackDown up a little bit. But I'm kind of apprehensive about Randy Orton's move, because I'm wondering, will he just be another Chris Jericho? Will he just be another Undertaker on SmackDown? And you know what those guys are, to me, they're top stars on SmackDown, but it's like they don't hype up the crowd like how they should. Like they're of course they're mega stars, but I don't get that, you know, superstar persona like I get from people like Triple H, like I get from people like even Batista, John Cena. Like they, you know, they can't really hype up the crowd. Of course people are going to boo Chris Jericho, of course people are going to cheer for Undertaker, but you know, for the viewers sitting at home, it's kind of like iffy on me. Like that's why I'm kind of like turned off of SmackDown sometimes, because they always put on a good show, but I want to see something more than good, you know. So yeah, hopefully Randy Orton, he actually gets some mic time on SmackDown. Hopefully they you know, take advantage of this new character of his. Like I said, they need to strike while the iron is hot. They're missing out on some very valuable time with Randy Orton, so hopefully that all changes if he moves to SmackDown. Now, I said Randy Orton, I hope he doesn't become another Undertaker, Chris Jericho. This guy that I want to move to SmackDown, he definitely won't be, you know, that kind of like plain personality, and that guy is The Miz. He can get a crowd hyped up. He can get a crowd to absolutely hate him. You know, he can, you know, perk things up on SmackDown. That's why I want him to move over to the Blue brand, because I really think he would be a great asset to that show. Now, I know he's Unified Tag Team Champion right now, so he can move on whatever show he wants to, but the point is I want him to end up on SmackDown, you know, after he loses those Unified Tag Team Championships, whenever that may be. So that's all I got for SmackDown right now. I'm uploading this video on a Tuesday, so you know, maybe I'll have some extra thoughts. I'll talk to you guys down in the comment section below if, you know, anything develops, but that's all I have for SmackDown right now. Now, as far as Raw goes, I only have 2 names for Raw. Like I said, I don't want to wish the sad fate of going to Monday Night Raw and being lost in the shuffle on somebody that I actually like. So the only people that I have moving to Raw, this is probably the most predictable pick out of this whole damn thing. Batista is moving to Raw. Like, hell, he's already a Raw superstar right now. When's the last time we saw him on SmackDown? So, yeah, he's going to be moving over to Raw. Next, Drew McIntyre. He has the backing, you know, backstage. He has Vince McMahon in his corner, Triple H in his corner. I don't think he'll be the guy that'll be lost in the shuffle. Also, he has the Intercontinental Championship, so by default, I think if The Miz moves over to SmackDown, he'll move over to Raw. And yeah, that's all I have for Raw right now. What are you guys' picks? Let me know down in the comment section below. Yeah, that's it, I think. Who else? I don't want to see, I'm like talking outside of my head right now. But yeah, I guess I'll